How's it going, everybody? Welcome back. Today is Monday. It's Monday what? Monday the 13th? Yeah, Monday the 13th. A little bit of a change of scenery here back at the house. Spring break. Um, so, spring break is always fun, especially whenever you get to go back and spend some time with your family after not spending a bunch of time with them. But besides that, yesterday we went 4-2 with our picks. Um, Two big shockers. Well, not really big shockers because I said yesterday. Yesterday I said that I said the Nets are a good team. I didn't see them winning. I definitely saw their 8-point spread being way too high, but I did not see them winning like that. That was a shocker. And then what other game did we miss? We missed another game yesterday, but I think it might have been another one of those Denver, Sixers, Thunders, Cavs. Oh, it's the Blazers. Trailblazers, I mean, what are you going to do whenever Damian Lillard's out? Hopefully not lose by 30 like they did. They lost by 30, and that was really, really bad. Um, but today, we've got two prize picks bets for y'all today, the value bets. And then we've also got ourselves 7 games today. So 7 games. It's one more higher than it was yesterday. So a 7 game slate, pretty good. Um, Brent wants me to talk about who's going to be the real MVP of this year. I'm definitely going to get to that. But let's go over these prize picks value bets for today. The picks for today: Tatum over his first half points. It was at 15. It's at 15.5 now. I'd take Tatum's over for the first half just because they're going to blow him out in the first half, possibly, more than likely. And then DeJounte Murray's over assist. His assists are at 5 or it's around 4 or 5. Um, Pinnacle has him hitting that easily. So I think those are two good ones you could throw on any parlay. I personally only like to do 2-leg parlays on Prize Picks. It's the best value for your money. But coming into let's just get started for today. Let's get started into the games that are happening today. We got Pacers Pistons. Injury news for the Pacers. They're without Halliburton. They're without Benedict Mathurin. They're without a couple key pieces. Pistons, I believe, are at full strength other than Bogdanovich, and he's even been seen shooting around, so he'll probably play. This one's going to surprise people. I'm taking the Pistons. Um, I'm taking the Pistons money line. This just feels like a game that they could win. They've had a couple close games, and I think they've had a close game against the Pacers. If not, they already beat the Pacers this year. So I'm gonna take the Pistons just because the Pacers without Halliburton are rough. They're really rough, and then not to mention they'll have a couple of their other pieces out. I'm taking the Pistons money line. I think it's the best play for today out of this game. There was a couple of player props that you could have taken. I'm going to stay away from player props for this game just because Pistons player props, they're either really consistent for you or they're really inconsistent. And I've been staying away from player props. Moving on to the next games, Timberwolves and Hawks. Timberwolves, Rudy Gobert is questionable. They've got, I think, 2 other guys that are questionable, but I don't think they're really big names. They're playing at Atlanta. Atlanta's pretty good at home. Uh, the line's not looking great either. I'm staying completely away from this game. If I had to choose a winner, I'm taking the Hawks. Um, just because the Hawks have been playing okay basketball recently, and so have the Timberwolves. But I think that home court advantage for the Hawks will help them out a lot, and not having Rudy Gobert will actually be a big issue for them. And we're blowing through this. Next game, Grizzlies and Mavs. Grizzlies are only laying 1 point to the Mavs. Uh, that just surprises me. If you want, you can take the Grizzlies money line, take the Grizzlies spread because they're going to be the exact same thing. You'll probably get a little bit better odds for the Grizzlies spread at minus 110. I think the Grizzlies are like minus 115. It's not really that much of a difference. Kyrie Irving is questionable. Luka is out. Without either one of those guys, I don't see the Mavs doing really anything. And the Grizzlies still without Ja Morant, but that's okay. I mean, Ja Morant being out is completely fine. They've been winning games without him. They've been competitive without him. Um, but yeah, I'm taking the Grizzlies. I'm going to continue to take whoever Dallas is going against. Dallas is looking just abysmal, which really, really sucks for me because I'm a big Mavs fan. But without Luka, without Kyrie, those are two big dudes that not having them in is going to really, really hurt them. So we're going to take Grizzlies. They're at -1, or as I already said. You can take the money line, you can take the spread. It's completely up to you. Moving on to the next game, Jazz versus Heat. This one's an easy one for me. You're taking the Heat. 8 points. I don't like 8 points because the Heat usually have close games. I will take the. Sorry about that. But yeah, I'm taking the Heat, not taking their spread, but I am taking the Heat's money line. You could throw that on a parlay if you really want to. I'm not. I'm going to stay away from a couple of games today. I'm going to stick to a couple of games that I'm really, really positive in, and this is not one of them. But no significant injury news for either team. Lauri Markkanen's playing, Bam Adebayo's playing, Tyler Hero's playing, so everybody's going to be playing in this game. I'm not as I've already said, don't take the spread, take the money line, and that's just about it. I don't really see the Jazz having any type of chance to win in this, so I'm gonna take the Heat. Moving on to the next game, Celtics Rockets. Not much to talk about here. I mean, I'm gonna sound like a tape recorder saying the same thing every time, but Celtics. Unless the Rockets pull a Spurs move, I don't see there being any type of close game at all. I expect the Celtics to go out here in the first half and really just put it on, and I think that's what's going to happen. I don't see the Rockets being able to replicate what the Spurs did against the Nuggets. Nor do I see the Celtics allowing themselves to do that. It feels like the Nuggets have kind of let off the gas, and that's obviously not good. 13-point spread. I'm 50-50 on whether or not I would take that. If you're going to parlay anything with this game, parlay the Celtics money line. But if you're going to straight bet anything, I really don't know what to say with that spread. 13 is a lot. Yeah, I'm taking the Celtics minus 13. That's what I would take. Um, sorry, I'm writing these things down. I keep having to look back into videos of yesterday to see what my record was and stuff like that. I'm just gonna write everything down from now on. That way I can keep a good track of everything. But moving on to the next game, Warriors Suns. Warriors are at home. They're playing against the Suns without Kevin Durant. Jonathan Kuminga is out. But with that being said, the Warriors are favored, not by a lot, but they are favored, and I'm gonna stick with the Warriors. The Warriors, they're a great home team. I mean, they could be down 20 going into the fourth quarter, and with that crowd that they have, that it's a huge momentum shift, and you saw that yesterday. So I'm taking the Warriors. I don't. Yeah, I take the Warriors 4.5 as well, because even if that game goes into OT, I see them being able to take care of business. Uh, Suns, I mean, they've been playing good basketball, but they're not an away team whatsoever. Not a good away team at all. So I would stick to the Warriors. Warriors money line, you could put. It's a good line. They're like at minus 180. I would take that. But then moving on to the last game of the night, Kings Bucks. Big injury news there as well. Giannis is out. Bucks are laying 2. I don't see how that's possible. The Kings are still doing what the Kings have been doing. They're consistent, and I without Giannis, yes, they can still compete, but against a Kings team that has consistently been able to do their thing, and then having Sabonis against a guy like Brook Lopez, I'm gonna take the Kings. I'm taking the Kings money line. Oh, sorry. But yeah, I'm taking the Kings money line. I like the Kings. Um, Sorry about that. This is one of the downsides to streaming with being at home. But Kings, taking the Kings money line, sticking to that, and but I could see the Bucks taking care of business. The Bucks, they're a consistent team. I think you can go either way, but me personally, after watching a lot of Bucks games and watching a lot of Kings games, and just having a general knowledge of both teams, I would like to say the Kings could get this taken care of. Their guards are put up; they're going to put up a lot more points, and they're also going to be able to be a lot more effective than a guy like Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton. Chris Middleton has not given them the productivity that they need, in my opinion, without Giannis. That might change tonight. Who knows? You know, Chris Middleton's one of those guys who can either give you 10 points or he can give you 40. But with that being said, I'm going to take the Kings with De'Aaron Fox. Kevin Herter's been his productivity is way higher than I think anybody thought it would be. So that's obviously a positive for them. Um, -5 Warriors. That's a lock. Absolutely, Brent. That's exactly what I'm thinking. Um, might have to start implementing that type of thing. You know, putting locks on things. Maybe do a lean. I could lean this way. I could lean that way. Or this is a lock. But I could start doing that. I think that's a good idea. I also think that it'll spice up the streams a little bit. Maybe give y'all a little bit more of a. Sorry, these earbuds keep opening up. But yeah, a lock system would be pretty good. I think that's pretty good. But Brent, you gave the suggestion. Let's talk about MVP. Um, let's go look at the MVP voting right now. Let's look that up actually. Here we go. So let's look at the MVP race as of right now. So right now, what the NBA's got out there, if this will load. So they still got Jokic at 1. Let's look. Jokic at 1. Embiid at 2. Let's keep scrolling. Giannis at 3. I think they've got, yeah, they still got Tatum at 4. And they got Luka at 5. But when it comes to MVP, I a lot of people have their own opinions on what an MVP should be. You know, whether or not that's productivity by themselves, teams, is their team winning, you know, stuff like that. But I think if you look at it from a historical standpoint, as long as your team is a playoff team, I think pretty much everybody should be even on that. And looking at it, all 5 of these teams, if the playoffs were to start today, would all be in the playoffs. Maybe other than Luka, they'd be in the play-in, which is fine. But I think when you look at it, Jokic at number 1, Jokic is averaging a triple double. But with these recent, we'll see how far this continues. But they haven't been winning games, and Jokic has not been putting up crazy stat lines. Yeah, he's putting up a triple double, but he's he's not. I don't think his play looks like an MVP. And in my personal opinion, I think an MVP's most valuable player. Jokic is a very he's one of the most valuable players, but at the same time, I think these other guys that whenever you look at them, like Embiid or Giannis or Luka, I don't agree with Tatum. I don't agree with the Tatum pretty much at all. Tatum Tatum could be out for the next 2 weeks, and the Celtics will still go on. They'll still go 5-2, 8-3. You know what I mean? Like Tatum being out does not kill their team, which I don't think makes him a most valuable player. I think Luke is way more valuable than Tatum is. Luke is out. That team is not a playoff team. In fact, it might be a lottery team if Luke is not in. Giannis, we've seen that the Bucks can win without Giannis, and Giannis has had a good season. Don't get me wrong; he's been putting up really good stats, and they've been winning. But is he at the level of some of these other guys? I don't think so. And then when it comes to Embiid, absolutely. I think Embiid. I think realistically, I think the list should go Embiid, Jokic, Luka, Giannis, Tatum. I think that's how it should. I think that's how it should look, because when you look at it, Embiid being out for the 76ers, they're not able to win. But back to what I was saying, Embiid, when Embiid's not in there, it looks rough for the 76ers. Plus, Embiid's putting up the same numbers as Giannis, but without Embiid, they don't win. So if we're going off the most valuable, that puts Embiid more valuable than Giannis. Once again, I apologize. But that puts Embiid over Giannis. And then when it comes to Jokic, once again, he does not play. He doesn't look like an MVP. Maybe he is a most valuable player, but if we're going off of that, then Sabonis should be in. He should be in the talks as well, just due to the fact that he is that most valuable player. He puts up the same lines as Jokic. He does the same thing as Jokic, pretty much being the point center. So then why is Sabonis not in this? Because I mean, they've got almost similar records as well. So when it comes to that, I think that just lowers Jokic. Jokic is doing what a couple of other people are also doing at the same time. So I think that knocks Jokic down. I think that puts Embiid up, and then, as I said, that also puts Giannis down because of Embiid being out. They can't win. Versus if Giannis is out, they can win. And then when we talk about Luka, I've already talked about Luka. He's putting up some of the most crazy stat lines. I mean, he's top three in scoring. I think he might be top three in assists. He's not top three in rebounds, but he's still putting up 8 rebounds. And without them, and without Luka, the Mavs are not winning. I think that should put him automatically above Giannis and Tatum. Not to mention, he's scoring more than Giannis. He's scoring more than Tatum. More assists than both of them. And Giannis has got him by 2 rebounds. Tatum is the exact same as him with rebounds. So that makes that's three things that puts him over. That's the fact that they can't win without him, the fact he has more points, he has more assists, and he has the exact same rebounds. So I don't really understand how Luka is not above those guys. Not to mention Tatum's missed plenty of games, Giannis has missed plenty of games, Embiid's missed plenty of games. Jokic is the only guy that has not missed plenty of games for them. Luka's missed a couple of games, but the other three guys that are ahead of him have also missed a significant amount of games this season as well. So who knows? When it comes to the MVP race, I think that's how it should look. But just to go over all the picks again for today. The picks for today, I have Pistons beating the Pacers. I have the Hawks beating the Timberwolves. I have the Grizzlies beating the Mavs. I have the Heat beating the Jazz. I have Celtics beating Rockets, Warriors beating Suns, and Kings beating the Bucks. Um, Other than that, there's not much else to go over. And remember, do not live bet. Lost me a lot of money yesterday. I'm a little bit of a hypocrite, but it lost me money. So don't live bet, and If you could, leave suggestions in the comments of what I could do to increase or improve the show and make it more interesting or, you know, make it a little bit more efficient. But other than that, I appreciate it. And